Okay, let's have this topic, the inverse differential operators. Okay. Now, if we let P of D equals AODN plus A1DN minus 1 plus and so on AN minus 1D plus AN, where we know that D is D with respect to X, then, okay, these are some formulas that we can use in order for us to determine the particular solution. Okay, number 1 over phi of d is e to the ax equals e to the ax over phi of a. It means to say that you just have to substitute d for a. Now, phi of a here is not equal to 0. Now, 1 over phi of d minus a to the n e to the ax is, okay, x to the n e to the ax over n factorial phi of a. Now, notice that if the power of d minus a is n, then this is x to the n. E to the ax will just be copied, and it's just n factorial times p of a, where a is just to be substituted for d. Now, observe here that p of a is not equal to 0. Next is 1 over phi of d of e to the ax x. Now, you can take e to the ax out. This is 1 over phi of d plus a x, okay, where x is f of x. Now, these formulas will be applied later in the examples. For 1 over d of x is just the integral of x dx. Remember that 1 over d is the opposite of differentiating x. So this is integral of x dx. Similarly, 1 over d squared of x is the double integral of x dx. Now, you can also say that 1 over what? 1 over d cubed. So 1 over d cubed. Now, it is now equal to the integral of, okay, x dx, and dx there. So, this one there, and then you have what? And then you have this one, and then you have that one. Next is, this is one of the most important formula, 1 over d plus 1 over d plus a x, okay, is 1 over a. This is a series. Look at the pattern. This is 1 minus d over a plus d squared over a squared minus d cubed over a cubed plus and so on. The general term is negative 1 raised to n minus 1 dn over a to the n x, where x is a polynomial of degree n. It could be x squared or x cubed or a plus bx plus cx squared and so on. Next is 1 over phi of d of sine ax, okay, is 1 over phi of d of sine ax, where d is replaced by negative a squared. So this d will be replaced by negative a squared. Next is 1 over phi of d of cosine ax is the same as 1 over phi of d of cosine ax, where d is still replaced by negative a squared. This is similar to formula 6. Now, 1 over d squared plus a squared of sine ax, this is negative x over 2a cosine ax. Observe that this is a and a is common here. That there is a, if this is sine, there is a negative x over 2a, and that is cosine ax. Next is 1 over d squared plus a squared of cosine ax is x over 2a sine ax. Notice that these two formulas are the same, except that, or similar, except that if this is cosine, this is sine. If this is sine, this is cosine. Okay, both have x over 2a, but one is negative and the other is positive. 10 is 1 over phi of d of sine ax, okay, is the real part of 1 over phi of ai sine ax plus the imaginary part of 1 over phi of ai cosine ax. Now, the imaginary part will only have the, okay, the real number part, okay, of the complex number. So it means I will be disregarded there. Next is 1 over phi of d of cosine ax is the real part of phi of negative ai. Notice the difference here. Here it is negative ai, but it starts from cosine ax plus the imaginary part of 1 over phi negative ai sine ax. Now notice the difference here. If it is sine, then what? If it is sine, then this is what? And this is it begins with sine and cosine. Here, if this is cosine, it begins with cosine and sine. And then what? If this is sine, what will be substituted is ai. If this is cosine, what will be substituted is negative ai. Now let's have the first example. Example 1. Find the particular solution of d squared minus 1y is equal to 3x. Okay, of course, alright, your particular solution is, okay, we can use this formula. 1 over phi of d e to the ax is e to the ax phi of a. Our particular solution now is using this formula. What do? You only substitute what? You only substitute d for what? You only substitute d for d equals 3. Where did you get this 3? 3 is taken from the power of e. And then this gives you what? Simply 1 over 3 squared minus 1. And that gives you what? 1 over 8 e to the 3x. That's a particular solution. If you want to find the complementary solution, of course, you have m squared minus 1 is 0. Okay, so your y sub c, the root series, of course, 1 and negative 1 is c1 e to the x plus c2 e to the negative x, and your y is just what? Y sub c plus y sub b. So this gives you what? c1 e to the x plus what? c2 e to the negative x, okay, plus 1 over 8 e to the 3x. Now, by the way, this topic will just be what? Will just be devoted to solving particular solution using inverse differential operator. So, this is expected that you know already how to solve for y sub c. So, we'll just concentrate on what? On computing the particular solution using the formulas that we have shown. Next, let's have example 2. Let's have d squared minus 4y is equal to 2x. Your particular solution, okay, can be, now look, your particular solution here, your particular solution is equal to what? 1 over d squared minus 4, and then what? E to the 2x. Now, we are going to use this formula 1 over phi of d minus a to the n e to the ax is x to the n, okay, x to the n e to the ax over n factorial phi of a, where phi of a is not equal to 0. Now, our particular solution is 1 over d squared minus 4 e to the 2x. This can be factored into 1 over d plus 2 d minus 2 e to the 2x. Now, observe now, this is 2 is the same as that. So, look at the formula. This a there is the same as that a there with n is equal to 1. So, therefore, our particular solution using that formula, okay, what is our power? Our power is what? 1 here. 1. So there is x to the 1 there. Okay, and then you just move it to the 2x there, and then where do you get this 1 factorial? Whatever is the power there is the factorial there, times substitute what? Substitute 2 in this one there. So this will be 2 plus 2, and therefore our particular solution is 1/4 x e to the 2x. Next, we have example 3. Okay, find the particular solution of what? D squared plus 4y equals cosine 3x. So your particular solution is 1 over d squared plus 4 cosine 3x. Now, this 3 is different from, okay, 2 squared there. Remember that 4 is the same as 2 squared. So that means this 2 is different from this. All you have to do is, okay, to substitute what? To substitute negative what? Negative 3 squared for d squared. So this is 1 over what? 1 over negative 3 squared plus 4 cosine 3x. And that gives you 1 over negative, this is negative 9 plus 4, 1 over negative 5 cosine 3x. What about this one? Okay, d squared plus 9y is cosine 3x. Now remember that is this formula. 1 over d squared cosine ax is the same as x over 2a sine ax. Now this is, okay, your particular solution is what? Your particular solution is 1 over d squared plus 9. This 9, remember, is the same as 3 squared. Therefore, these 3 and 3 are the same. So we use this formula. Look at this formula. We just have to plug x there, and then that 2, and then that a, which is 3, and then what? Sine of 3x. Look at this formula, sine of 3x. If this is cosine, this will be sine. And you have what? X over 6 sine of 3x. Alright, let's have example 5. Now let's compute the particular solution of d plus 2y is x cubed minus x. Now next step is, okay, we are going to use this formula. Now remember that your y sub t here, right, your y sub t here will be equal to 1 over d plus 2 of what? Of x cubed minus x squared. Now, you know here, okay, we know the formula. Look at this formula. Here, this will be capital X. Okay, so this, look at the formula. 1 over what? 1 over d plus ax is 1 over a. Now this is, the signs are alternating. This is plus. So 1 minus plus minus. Look at the pattern. This is 1 and then 1 over a is out. And this is 1 and then this is a squared, a cubed, and so on. Where what? Where the signs alternate. If this is d minus a, then this will all be positive. Okay. So our x is the polynomial degree of n, and it's just x cubed minus x squared. So our particular solution now is 1 over d plus 2 of x cubed minus x squared. And look at this, this is 1/2. Okay, look at the formula here. Comparing it here, our d is 2, so this is 1 minus d over 2 plus d squared over 4 minus d cubed over 8. You may notice why I stopped with d cubed over 8. This is the third derivative. Observe that the third derivative of x cubed is a constant, so the fourth derivative will be 0. That's why all derivatives, okay, beyond what? Beyond d cubed will be treated as, or okay, will be computed at 0. That's why we stop only at d cubed over 8. So if you let y is x cubed minus x squared, we need the first derivative. Your first derivative is what? 3x squared minus 2x. The next derivative, the second derivative, is 6x minus 2. And the third derivative is 6. Of course, the fourth derivative is 0. That's the reason why we stop here only at d cubed over 8. Then substituting, we have what? yp is 1/2. So what we do is we just plug what? We just plug, okay, we just plug this is x cubed minus x squared there. So this is x cubed minus x squared there, and then this 3x squared minus 2x, this is actually your what? Your dy. Now your 6x minus 2 is actually your what? D squared y. And your 6 is actually your d cubed y. Now simplifying, okay, you will have what? Okay, this is just x cubed over 2 is here, and then the x squared, you have the negative x squared here minus 3 half. Okay, so 1 half times negative x squared is that negative x squared over 2. 1 half times negative 1 half times 3 is that's negative 3 over 4x squared. 1 half times negative 1 half times negative 2x, okay, gives you what? Gives you positive what? Positive x over 2 there. And then you have 1 half times 1/4 times 6x. So this gives you what? 1 half times 1/4, that is 1/8, so 6 over 8. That's 6 over 8, so that's 3/4 x. And then you have 1/4 times negative, okay, 1/4 times negative 2, okay, that, and then times 1 half gives you negative 1/4 there. And then 1 half times negative 1/8 times 6 gives you what? Negative 3 over 8. Then if you combine your particular solution, this is x cubed over 2, combine these two, that negative x squared over 2 minus 3/4 x squared is negative 5 over 4x squared. Combine the x over 2 and the 3/4 x, you have 5/4 x. Combine the negative 1/4 minus 3/8 gives you negative 5 over 8. So you see, this is our what? This is now our particular solution. Okay, this will be quite tedious to do using what? Using the method of undetermined coefficients. Let's have the next example. Okay, let's solve for the particular solution of d squared minus 1y is 24x squared e to the x. Okay, remember now that our particular solution now is what? Is given by yp is equal to 1 over d squared minus 1, 24 x squared e to the x. Okay, now we can use, okay, that's our y sub p. We can use this formula now. That is 1 over phi of d e to the axx is e to the ax. Notice that your d will be replaced by phi of d plus ax, where x is, okay, where x is a function of x. Okay, so look at this. Okay, I move e to the x out, so it becomes 24 e to the x. If you move this out, you have to plug d for d plus 1. So this means that you have to replace this d here. When you move d to the x, rather e to the x out, you will have to replace this by what? D plus 1. Where did you get that 1? From the exponent of e to the x. That's why it gives you what? D plus 1 squared minus 1, and then x squared. Okay, continuing. So we have what? We have y sub p is 24 e to the x times 1 over d squared plus 2d plus 1 minus 1. Okay, this one will cancel out. This one will cancel out. That gives you the particular solution is 24 e to the x, 1 over d squared plus 2d. You can factor what? You can factor d there. So yp is 24 e to the x, 1 over d plus 2, d of x squared. Now, notice that I can what? I can okay, I can put what? Remember that 1 over d, this portion, 1 over d x squared is the same as the integral of what? X squared dx. That's why it's here. Okay, that's why it's here. And then you left d plus 2. So next step is the integral of what? The integral of x squared dx is x cubed over 3. Okay, so in the previous example, we know already how to do this. So, okay, this becomes 24 e to the x over 3, the 3 outside there, and then remember the formula again for what? For 1 over what? 1 over d plus a. 1 over d plus a of let's say x here, this is what? Okay, 1 over a 1 minus d over a plus d squared over a squared minus and so on. Okay, so that's why it's here. This is the formula there. Okay, 1/2 1 minus d over 2 plus d squared over 4 minus d cubed over 8x cubed. Now we need to find the first, second, and third derivative of x cubed. Now if you let y is x cubed, then dy is what? 3x squared. Second derivative is 6x, and the third derivative is 6. Okay, therefore, plugging it here, you have y sub p is, okay, 24 divided by 3 times 2 is 6, 24 divided by 6, that is 4. 4 e to the x, okay, and then you have 1, okay, you have, just combine this already. 1 times x cubed is x cubed there. The derivative of x cubed is what? 3x squared, and then divided by 2 there. The second derivative is 6x divided by what? Divided by 4 there. And then the third derivative is 6 divided by 8. Okay, so this means you have this x cubed, okay, 4e to the x cubed minus 3/2 x squared plus 6 over 4x minus 6 over 8. Okay, multiplied by 4. The particular solution is 4x cubed e to the x. Now 4 times 3 is 12 divided by 2, that is negative 6x squared e to the x is 4 plus 4 times 6 over 4 is 6x e to the x, and 4 times 6, 24 divided 8 divided by 8 is negative 3 e to the x. This is our what? This is now our particular solution. Then this is our particular solution. Okay, let's have another example. Let's have example 7. Alright. Okay, let's solve the particular solution of y double prime plus y prime plus 3y is cosine of 4x. Now, this can be written as d squared y plus dy plus 3y is cosine 4x, or d squared plus d plus 3. Okay, this is supposed to be, okay, the parenthesis here is here, there is no y there, okay, equals cosine 4x. Okay, and your particular solution is 1 over d squared plus d plus 3 cosine 4x. Now we will have to have a formula here. Plug d is negative 4i, or where did I get this negative 4i? Now if this is cosine, okay, you plug the negative of this one, what is inside here, the negative of the angle. If this is sine, you plug the positive of the 4i here. Since this is cosine, plug this negative 4i. Then evaluate, okay, you are going to plug what? D for negative 4i. So d must be replaced by negative 4i. So you have 1 over negative 4i squared plus negative 4i plus 3. That's the same as 1 over negative 16 minus 4i plus 3 That's the same as 1 over negative 13 minus 4i. You can use a calculator to determine this, or you can multiply this by its conjugate. That's negative 13 plus 4i. It's not shown here anymore. And the answer is negative 13 over 185 plus 4 over 185i. Notice that I only need these two values. These two values and these two values. There. Now this negative 13 over 185 will be what? Will be associated with cosine of what? Cosine of 4x. And then this one, 4 over 185, will be associated with sine of 4x. Okay, therefore, your particular solution is, look at this. Your particular solution is just negative 13 over 185. Okay, just insert cosine 4x plus 4 over 185 sine of 4x. Okay. Let's have the next example. Example 8. Okay, this time let us solve for, okay, alright, this one, d squared plus, okay, d squared is supposedly what? Supposedly d squared y. Okay. Supposedly d squared y there plus dy plus 3y sine 4x. This can be written as, okay, d squared plus what? Plus d plus 3y sine 4x. Get the particular solution, that is 1 over d squared plus d plus 3 sine 4x. Okay, as compared to the previous example, this is now sine 4x. Now you are going to plug this for I. Remember, if this is cosine, you have to plug negative for I. But this is sine 4x, you plug this for I. If you plug this for I, and then you compute 1 over 4i squared plus 4i plus 3, that is 1 over, that is 4i squared, that is actually negative what? Negative 16. Negative 16 there, plus 4i plus 3. This is just the same as 1 over, this is negative 13 plus 1 plus 4i, and you can use any calculator or just multiply it by its conjugate. You will get the value, what? You'll get the value of negative 13 over 185 minus 4 over 185i. Now this is the technique. This negative 13 over 185 will be associated with sine, or sine of 4x. And this negative 4 over 185 will be associated with cosine of 4x. Okay, therefore, your particular solution is what? Negative 13 over 185 sine 4x minus 4 over 185 cosine of 4x. Okay, let's have the next example. Example 9. Find the particular solution of what? Y double prime plus y prime plus y is e to the x sine x. Okay, this can be written as d squared plus d plus 1y is e to the x sine x. How do you get the particular solution? The particular solution is 1 over d squared plus d plus 1 e to the x sine x. There is an e to the x here, we can take it out. Now remember the formula, 1 over p of d e to the ax x is e to the ax 1 over p of d plus ax. This means that what? This means that once you take e to the x out, then you have to replace, or rather, we have to substitute d by what? By d plus 1. Okay, where do you get that 1? That is the exponent of x. So your particular solution now is, you get out, and then e to the x out, and then you have what? 1 over d plus 1 squared plus d plus 1 plus 1 sine x. Alright, that is e to the x times 1 over expand. This is d squared plus 2d plus 1 plus simplify d plus 1 plus 1 here is 2. So your particular solution is e to the x 1 over d squared, 2d plus d is 3d, 1 plus 2 is 3. Now again, how do you solve this part? How do you solve this part? This one, okay, all you have to do here is to plug what? Okay, sine x, to plug d is what? D is I. Okay, so plug d is I, then you have what? Okay, you have to, okay, let us find the value of 1 over d squared plus 3d plus 3 when d is I. This is 1 over I squared plus 3I plus 3. That's what? I squared is, this I squared is negative 1. So this is negative 1 plus 3 is 2, and then retain the 3I there. And then 1 over 2 plus 3I is the same as what? It's the same as 2 over 13 minus 3 over 13I. Now this one, this 2 over 13, this 2 over 13 will be associated to, okay, since this is sine, this will be associated with sine of what? Sine of x. And then that's negative 3 over 13 will be associated with cosine of x. So therefore, your particular solution is what? Okay, e to the x times 2 over 13 sine 3x minus what? Minus 3 over 13 cosine of 3x.